It's amazing how one star player can change the course of a college football program, especially a star quarterback. Pat White was that guy at West Virginia, but that era almost didn't happen. Let's talk about it. What is up, college sports fans, fellow members of Mountaineer Nation? This is Coos, and welcome to another edition of Coos' Corner. So just sit back, relax, and let me pour you a shot of top-shelf college football content. Today, we're talking Pat White, the legendary West Virginia quarterback, arguably the best in school history. The debate continues between he and Major Harris as to who was the best one. I personally go with Pat just because he won 4 straight bowl games and was here for 4 years. But I digress. The Pat White era just about didn't happen at West Virginia, and I'm going to talk about that and how that would have changed the course of the West Virginia football program. The story goes when Pat White was a freshman, a redshirt freshman here at West Virginia, he was splitting time with Adam Bednarik at the quarterback position, but Adam Bednarik was getting most of the snaps. Adam Bednarik had gotten injured a couple times, and every time he had gotten injured, Pat White would come in, would play the rest of the game, and in the next game, Coach Rodriguez would put Bednarik in as the starter again. Well, Pat White was getting frustrated with that, and Pat White was also a star baseball player, and he had actually gotten drafted into the major leagues. But he chose to forego that to give college football a try. Well, during the course of that season, the week before the famous 2005 Louisville game, Pat White called his dad up and said, "Dad, Coach Rod apparently doesn't think I can play quarterback. He keeps putting this other guy in, even though he's getting hurt. I need you to bring me my glove. I'm going to play baseball." And that, by the way, that information is courtesy of an interview Pat White did on the Final Forecast with John Flowers and Kevin Jones, and also the Pat McAfee Show. He talked about that on both shows. But Pat White's dad, the wise man that he apparently is, said, "No, son, you're going to go to practice this week, and you're going to practice like you're the starter. And if you don't get an opportunity to show what you can do in this next game, then I'll bring your glove." Lo and behold, West Virginia's down 24-7 against Louisville in Morgantown, which, by the way, I was at that game, one of the greatest sports memories of my life. Adam Bednarik gets hurt again. Pat White comes in the game. I think it was maybe early to mid third quarter. Don't remember the exact time frame. He comes in. The rest is history. West Virginia makes a major comeback, sends the game into overtime, then into double overtime, then into triple overtime, and West Virginia goes on to win the game. They end up going on that season to play in the Sugar Bowl against Georgia, pulling off a major upset. The Pat White, Steve Slayton era had taken off in Morgantown, and the Pat White era would last another 3 seasons. So I look back and I say, okay, what would have happened if Pat White's dad had agreed to bring his glove and he had left the West Virginia football program? Well, if Adam Bednarik's injury was severe enough, they would have handed the reins to third-string quarterback J.R. House. Who was J.R. House? Good question. J.R. House was actually the Kennedy Award winner in the state of West Virginia as the state's top football player in 1998. That's right, 1998, which happened to be my senior year as well. So this was 2005. J.R. House was a 25-year-old freshman. He had gotten drafted into the baseball after high school, and he chose to go that route versus football. And he played a few years in professional baseball. Even made it to the big leagues for a little bit of time in 2003. But then he was going back and forth between the majors and the minor leagues. So in 2005 he decides to give football a go. So he enrolls at West Virginia, makes the team, ends up being the third string quarterback. Barely saw the field for obvious reasons. But if Adam Bednarik's injury had been serious and Pat White had left the program, he likely would have been the next guy in line. But J.R. House would have been the quarterback, more than likely, which means West Virginia likely would not have won as many games in 2005, which means they probably would not have never won that Sugar Bowl in 2006. They wouldn't have been good in the 2006-2007 seasons. Rich Rodriguez likely would not have even gotten a chance to go to Michigan. He probably would have stayed at West Virginia longer. West Virginia likely would not have gone to that 2008 Fiesta Bowl where they upset Oklahoma, with Bill Stewart, where Bill Stewart ended up becoming the coach for the next 3 seasons. That wouldn't have happened. Would West Virginia have even gotten into the Big 12 conference? If West Virginia had not had the success they had the previous few years under Rich Rod and then under Coach Stewart, would they have even been invited into the Big 12? I don't know if they would have, and they might have been left hanging in a non-Power 5 conference. So think about that for a minute. Pat White could have single-handedly been, in large part, responsible for West Virginia even getting an invite into a Power 5 conference. That's the impact one-star player can have on a program, and that Pat White had on West Virginia. West Virginia's, and where would we be today? We might be in the we would probably be in the American Athletic Conference, or maybe the Sun Belt Conference, and we wouldn't be playing the Texases, the Oklahomas, the Kansas States, the Kansases in basketball. We wouldn't be playing these more high-profile teams week in, week out that we do now. Would West Virginia be winning more? Probably so, because I think they would be more competitive in a non-Power 5 conference. However, I don't know that it would be as fun as a fan. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Think of the history. Rich Rod wouldn't have went to Michigan. Michigan would have ended up hiring somebody else to be their next coach. Who knows who that would have been. So not only did it change the course of history for West Virginia, it changed the course of history for several other teams. Geno Smith may have never come to West Virginia because he was recruited by Bill Stewart. Tavon Austin may have never come to West Virginia. We may have never had Dana Holgorsen as a coach. I mean, all these things just added up because Pat White and that group of guys that he led on the football field every single weekend were successful at West Virginia and put West Virginia football program on the map. I think they were already on the map, but they put the West Virginia football program in the national spotlight, which helped us get in a better conference and helped us get better recruits. So let me know in the comment section, what do you think? Do you think the West Virginia football program would be in the Big 12 today had Pat White left West Virginia in 2005? I want to get your opinion on that. I ask that you, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel. I do college football. I throw a few college basketball videos in every once in a while. So let me know in the comments if you think what you think about this story. What do you think West Virginia? Where do you think West Virginia would be today had Pat White left instead of staying on for that Louisville game? I want to hear your opinions. Please like this. Give me the thumbs up if you like this video. Hit that like button right underneath. If you want to join Couz's Corner, become a paying member for a little $2.99 a month and get some of the perks that go along with that, please hit the join button right underneath. If you want to bet on sports, if you want to bet on March Madness, hit the BetUS link right below in the description box. That takes you to the BetUS website where you can bet on March Madness. You can bet on NBA. You can even go gamble and play blackjack or poker, whatever you want to do. As long as you use that link to get you in the site, it'll really help my channel grow. I really appreciate you tuning in. And until next time, Q Country Roads.